I'm Jimi Hendrix, and this episode is called RP5. Do you have drive on Empower Your Pattern 2.0? Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrix. I am a success, confidence, and drive coach, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I wish to give you patterns, help you receive more, help you live a better and extraordinary life right now. So if you'll come with me, I will help you receive these patterns. Get ready. Let's go. Hello, Pattern Realm. Jimi Hendrix here. Spent a lovely 4th of July with my church family. Some of you should go on YouTube for Empower Your Pattern 2.0. There will be there is a fireworks display that is there. You guys will love this. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and ask you this question. Are you desiring more? Are you desiring to enjoy a better and extraordinary life right now? Or better yet, let me ask you this question. According to Les Brown, are you hungry? I know you are, so let's go. Do you have drive? What does that mean? We're going to have a couple episodes that deal with that. Today we're going to be dealing with more of the determination to have drive. I've had some things going on in my life recently that have, well, to be honest with you, they have been testing, but they have led me to be more determined than ever to, in my business, to become customer qualified, to work hard, to get what needs to be done. Okay, if you know what I mean. Now, here's the beauty of it, if you don't mind. My question to you is this. How many of you have the determination to act? Because, let me tell you something. It's not enough just to make a decision. You also got to take action. And I know in some ways it's easier said than done, but you know what? We all know. I'll tell you, we all know, I know, that it's got to get done. Right? We all know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so, having the determination to make it, I have a chapter in my book, The Winning Personality, a Values-Based Approach to Entrepreneurship in This Economy. You can get it on Amazon, on discipline and determination. I have told you many stories about that determination. February 2022, I had received the news from Bishop Dave after a day's trip to the Lubbock, Texas temple that he and his family were going to be moving to Utah. And I had received a dream of that, and I was like, oh, man, I don't believe this. But you know what it did? it led me to seek a purpose. And sometimes to seek a purpose, you need determination, because you want more. You want to have a better and extraordinary life. You need to have a purpose. And you need to have a vehicle to reach that purpose. I didn't have a vehicle at that point. I just had a purpose. Well, I was just trying to find a purpose. And it would take me several months to try to find it. And so I kept on plodding on and podcasting and everything. And then my friend, and I know this ain't her official title at work, but she's my life consultant, Marie. She taught me that, hey, you can find a purpose, but you better be determined to find it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. That determination is what's going to get you from where you are to where you need to be. In developing a purpose, in developing a vehicle to perform and make that purpose, and also taking the action with the vehicle that you have. I couldn't decide how I was going to proceed back in early 2022. Nothing as far as opportunity had reached my radar yet. But it was time. Shoot, it was past time. It needed to happen. You know? Working it out. Working it through. We get it. We get it, and we do what we can do. But we trust in the Lord when we're doing it. See, when you have drive, I think one of the things we got to do is we got to have Him at the driver's seat. Now, one of the keys also to this, the faith and no doubt, and the drive, the determination, one of those keys in finding purpose and getting that drive and that determination is self-reliance. Okay? And they're going to be sometime, probably next week, we'll be addressing various topics of the self-reliance, because I think it benefits us and behooves us to have that. Okay? So get ready. It's going to be an interesting time for us all. I might as well give you some caveats, some information. Back in 2015, a little over 8 years ago, where the time is gone, I was working on my second bachelor's degree in communications, minoring in business management. Unfortunately, that didn't materialize, but I wrote a research paper about how public speaking affects motivation and team building. But I did some further research after writing my paper and realized I should have added one more variable, which is how public speaking and leadership affects motivation and team building. But see, what I found out is not very many people are doing research in that. They're out and doing it. And I had a professor that I worked with at UTPB in Actus, University of Texas Permian Basin. And he said, you need to be a trailblazer. So in a way, I'm being a trailblazer with this podcast. Okay? I'm being a trailblazer with this podcast. And like right now, I have a determination that I'm going to reach. And that determination is to become customer qualified. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. No farting around. No chill Netflixing around. Instead of writing a paper about how public speaking affects motivation and team building, how about I do a little experiment, of my own, which is one of my professors suggested that I do. Of course, they wanted the fancy stuff like research design and all that stuff, and, well, to put it point blank, when we were studying research methods, when I was studying political science, there were times that I just glossed over. Didn't work that way. But anyway, it's like, there you go. Truth, right? But that's why we use the skills we use. We have the best drive. Because what is motivation based on? There's one thing I learned from my research. Motivation is based on the drive, the passions that each and every one of us have. But here's the thing. Our drives, our passions need to have one little governor on it. That they are not to in any way replace God. Okay? Because if they replace God, you're in trouble. Okay? You're in trouble. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, except just say it. If your trust is in getting that 2-story house with an indoor pool and the nice Jaguar, then your drive is in the wrong place. But that's not one of the reasons why I want to become wealthy. Yes, I would like to have those creature comforts, but those are only perks. I seek influence. Many of you guys know that. I seek influence. That's what I want. I used to think it was power. But like Lord Acton once said, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. I believe that. Because here's the thing. And I'll drive it home until the cows come home. If your drive is more powerful than your desire for God and your love and worship of God, then you're sunk. Why do it? Why do it? And you may say, but Jimmy, come on, man. Why are you being this harsh? Because it's the truth. I mean, seriously. Why do you want to become wealthy? Or why do you want more and want to have a better and extraordinary life right now? It can't be all just for your own self-gratification, okay? That's the way of the world. And you're going to find out that is not in keeping with any of the rules of Pattern Realm. In fact, it violates rule number 8. Be inspired. You know what I mean? You can't be inspired if your drives are like apart from God. If your desires are apart from God, it's like, forget it. They're not worthy to even pursue. Because, and I'm not saying that you should be poor. We know that. What I am saying is this. Surely, if you remember Pattern Realm, you desire more, you desire better, an extraordinary life right now. You're not doing stuff just to keep up with the Joneses. The heck with the Joneses. And the labels and all that stuff. What are your motivations? Are they pure? How public speaking affects motivation and team building? I think that should be a test that I do myself. For myself. Instead of researching it in the library. Instead of writing term papers, I should be writing speeches. I should be composing podcasts. I should be getting ready to do presentations for my networking business. But do we... Let me ask you something. Do we think about those things? For years, my drive used to be power. Not anymore. And that's the thing. COVID and the 3 years after COVID had left me to do one thing. Repattern my drives. Repattern my passions. Live in a different way. Live in a better way. To know that I must be in line with God's will. You know? It's okay to have the drive. But it's not okay for the drive to have you. It's like it's okay to have nice things. But it's not okay to have the nice things have you. You get my drift? I know you do. You know, we're more than halfway through. It's a 35-minute talk. I'm just going to speak my heart here. If you need to drive, it's kind of like the building blocks. You need to know where and when it all hits home. Right? And once you know where it all hits home, you need to know where your faith is. What's your relationship with the Lord? What's your covenants with Him? And then, after that, let me go ahead and look through the series here to tell you what I want you to see what I'm talking about here. If I can find it. Okay. And then you need to find a purpose that is transcendent. And then you need to have faith and no doubt. And then you can have drive. Because if you have drive without the governor of a purpose that God has put you on this planet for, then you're not going to make it. I'm sorry. You're sunk. You can't do this. Okay? It sounds crazy, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it to have that drive. It's worth it, though, to trust God to give you the right drive. I can sit there and fart around and say I have drive. But if I'm not there taking action 6 days a week, some people say seven days. No. The pattern of the Lord is 6 days work. The seventh day, the Sabbath, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, the choice is up to you. That day, rest. That's where I stand. And some people tell me, but Jimmy, your church is sovereign. You can conduct business. No. Because in my faith, it's more than just going to church. It's how we live our life. Those of you in the restored Church of Christ, you know this one thing. It's one thing to say that I have a desire to keep commandments. And it's another thing to do and observe the commandments, right? See, I feel like in some ways, at least for a while, I'm going to have to incorporate faith somehow, somewhere in this. And you know why? Trusting in the Lord and knowing that He's got this. Because I know that we can trust in Him. But where's your drive? If your drive is in serving yourself and getting all the power you can muster to warn up everybody, then your drive is in the wrong place. You don't belong in pattern realm. But if your drive is to bless people's lives and influence people for good, then welcome in pattern realm. Stay in here. You know? The thing is, repatterning often has building blocks, but it's not like a straight line up to the full pattern. No, it's not. It's not. It's about a tapestry. The Lord's patterns of success are like a tapestry. If you can get what I'm talking about. And I know you can. So I'm asking you to trust me as I talk about these things. Because as a part of pattern realm, keeping that drive is one thing that's going to help you. And trusting in God. And that's the best part right there. How does public speaking affect How does leadership public speaking affect motivation and team building? That's my drive to see how it affects my life. Instead of just trying to research in the library how this happens in macrocosm. Because that's no different than the idea of being a cog in the system. If you want to be a cog in the system, then you have no drive. But if you want to be something more, then there you go. See, I went through this time of repatterning so I could find, well, purpose, instruction. Things, not gonna lie, things have been tough. But I still have the drive to rise above all the stuff that's going on. How many of you want to have some control over what happens to you? I know you do. Otherwise, why would you listen to this podcast? I mean, yes, ultimately God is in control. But He expects us to be stewards over our lives that He's given us. So He's given us free will and agency. Praise the Lord. Of course, that doesn't mean that we do. Oh, free will and agency. That means I get to do exactly what I want. Doesn't work that way. At least not according to the dictates of my faith. And it doesn't work that way in pattern realm. Freedom is the freedom to do what you ought. And, well, also must. Because one of the things that Dr. Del Toro McNeil says, should and ought might be a first drive, but when it becomes a must, then it's a necessity. Okay? Once it becomes a must, it's a necessity. And that's why you don't fart around. You do what God has called you to do. You get that drive in you. Okay? Like, say, you're in the networking business. Like today. My plan is, other than getting reattached to and part of some other service I'm a part of, I also want to ironically, to be in I also want to make 5 calls today. Make 5 calls today. Do what I can to sometimes our drive gets misplaced because of some things happen. But that's when you need to re-engage. Stay in the heat. Stay around the heat. That's where you get what you need. Okay? And I know that may sound crazy to some of you guys. But once again, I'm going to go back to one more thing. And this is the center of what drive should be about. You don't need to let money or success or all the trappings that go with it be a magnificent obsession. The centers of your drive should be in your relationship with God and with God alone. Of course, yes, your family comes second, but God comes first. And I love God with all my heart. I really do. And I trust that He knows the best thing for me. If your drive is going, I want to build wealth so I can get power, so I can lord it over whoever I want, then yours is in the wrong motivation. See, some people think leadership and management is to lord it over people. I believe in a leadership model that is focused on relationship. Yes, try to get the best outcome results as possible. But even then, you can't replace relationship. See, that's the thing. I ask, do you have drive? Yes, you do have drive. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. But if so, you need to center it more around relationships and not about I demand, I want. I mean, come on. And at the same time, you can't go to the other end of the spectrum where it's like, oh, I have drive. But then you sit there, put around, fart around, chill Netflixing all over the place. Okay? Drive requires balance. I know we don't want to see that. No, we don't want to talk about that, but it does. It requires balance. And that's why we have to have it. Having that trust in God. Having to have that chance to have the drive. But you have to have your motivations, your drives in the right place. See, you're doing a research paper like that in college. There's so many variables I left out. But if you're doing it in the real world, which in some ways makes perfect sense, then you can add all the other variables. I don't have to do a bunch of math and crazy stuff like that. You just live your life. But the center of your life, listen to me here. Listen to me. I need you to listen and listen good. The center of your life, what you need to be developing your life on, is this one thing. And that is your relationship. For mine is my relationship with Christ. With God the Father and Jesus Christ. For some people it's a higher power, like the universe and stuff. Myself, I worship God and Jesus Christ. And I stand on those. And I trust in the Lord that He knows what's good for me, what's best for me. He's like a father. Heavenly Father's like my father. And He knows what's best for me. He knows what will help me do what needs to be done. And I just want you to know, guys, it's good talking to you guys today. And I hope what I've had to say, I know it's a lot of rambling, and please forgive me, but I hope it's been a blessing to you guys. Because I trust you guys. And I know that being a part of Pattern Realm isn't easy, but you know what? It's worth it. For every single one of you guys, it's worth it. Now, I hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of Pattern Realm. This is Jimi Hendrix saying, until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Please share this with Mama San, Papa San, and everyone. This is Jimi Hendrix saying, until next time, choose, act, and pursue happiness. God bless you. And remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really love you.